Good afternoon, everyone. A very warm welcome to all of you. I am Sanj Vinod Mandhani, a junior member of marketing team at GDG Vesit. Today's session is the official kickoff of the Tech Sprint, an open innovation hackathon by Google Developers Group on campus Vesit. Over the next 1 hour, we'll walk you through what Tech Sprint is all about, how this hackathon works from registration to final pitching, how can you use Google technologies to build real meaningful solutions, and lastly, how can you make the most out of this opportunity as engineering students. Now, before we start, let me explain you what Tech Sprint is exactly. Tech Sprint is not just another competition. It's about identifying real world problems, building practical solutions, and experiencing a complete hackathon life cycle. That is from basically an idea to the entire execution. Now, with this, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our today's speaker, Ms. Anchal Gupta, who's the operation lead at GDG Vesit. She's also the winner of ETH Global New Delhi Hackathon and Google Cloud AI Agentic AI Hackathon, which clearly reflects her strong experience in building impactful tech solutions. With her hands on exposure to hackathons and Google technologies, she'll be walking us through Tech Sprint in detail and helping you understand that how to approach it in the right way. Over to you, Anchal.
Thank you, Sanj. That was a lovely introduction. Good afternoon, everybody. I am Anchal Gupta. I am the operations lead at GDG Vesit. So, today we are just going to introduce you to what TechSprint is and what is expected from you in this hackathon, what will be the timeline. So, it's basically just an introduction, and I'll also be sharing my experience in hackathon so that you can use that to uh, build better solutions. All right. So Xprint, as Sanj said, it is being hosted by Google developer groups, and along with Vesit, it's being hosted all over the different Google developer groups that exist in all the colleges in all the cities. So what you're supposed to do is identify real, meaningful problems and build practical solutions. And there is a stress on using Google technologies to solving those problems. So let's just move forward. So what are the different goals? Empowering students, promoting Google tools, and obviously, since you're building solutions, you will be implementing problem solving skills. And there's also one very important thing, which is driving meaningful impact in community. So, if you guys are aware, earlier we used to have something called Solutions Challenge by Google. So, over there, you were supposed to build something like this. So, something, a problem solving solution. And now we have TechSprint over here. This is the first time that a hackathon is being conducted uh, in the Google Developer Groups community. So yeah, so these are the different goals. I'm just breezing through these so that we can get to the more important things that we need to discuss. So why should you participate? So if you guys are in your first year or second year, I feel like for a lot of you, you are not aware of what a hackathon is, right? So basically, a hackathon, you get different sets of problem statements, and then you are supposed to build a software solution or a hardware solution, depends on the hackathon. So you're supposed to build a solution to that problem in a specified time frame. So uh, over here at TechSprint, what you're going to do is you're going to be building solutions for community problems. So you get to solve those problems, you get exposure with different Google technologies. Along with that, the GDG people are also going to be mentoring you. We are going to be coming up with different workshops to help you understand these technologies and see how you can actually implement them. Along with that, we are also available on Discord. So you can ask your queries, doubts, you can network with us, all of these different opportunities that are available to you with this hackathon. So this is the most important part, which is the timeline. All right. So today is 15 December. So we are right now over here. We have our kickoff session. After this, like right from this moment on, you can start registering and you can form your team. So our hackathon is being hosted on Hack to Skill platform, and in the different mails we have also shared all the links to register. So you can register your team, form your team from 15 to 31st December. So till 31st December, you're supposed to register. That is the deadline. Now we have our project submission window from 20th December to 14th of January. So you can start building your project as soon as you register, and you're supposed to submit it before 14 Jan. You have your deadline is till 11:59 p.m. So make sure that you submit your projects before that. And again, your registration deadline is still 31st of December. So once we have all the projects submitted, we will start with our evaluation. And till 16th Jan in the evening, we will try to give you the top 10 team announcement. So once we finalize who are our top 10 teams, they are supposed to pitch their projects to our judges. So we will be having some alumni who have also won a lot of hackathons, have judged a lot of hackathons. So they will be coming in to judge the pitching round for the 10 shortlisted teams. Now, once we have that judging round done, then we will announce our top three winners. And what we are supposed to do is send these top three winners to the organizers. So, the actual Google developer groups will be sending them that these three people are the top three winners of GDG Vesit Tech Sprint. So, this is the general flow of how things will be going. Uh, I will as I said, there will be workshops. So will have a Flutter and Firebase workshop by a Google Cloud expert, and we'll also have something called Build with AI in the first week of Jan. So you will also get exposure to explore different Google technologies with from directly from the experts, and also different AI technologies that Google has to offer. So right now, I'll just show you guys how you can register for our event. Okay, so you have to go to Hack to Skill platform. Over here, you get to see TechScape by GDG Reset. So just click on register now. You can directly register using your Google account or your email. So you have to enter all your details, your GitHub profile, your LinkedIn profile, your message email ID. Since this hackathon is only for people from this, then all of the details I just enter them really quickly. If you're in your first year, you don't have a LinkedIn account, make sure you make that account and add the URL, because that's something that is required. So just fill in all your details, and then once you've done that, click on register now. Alright. So over here, once I have registered, there is something called team formation. So if you are, you can form teams within any different classes, different branches. There is no limitation to that. But all of the students must be from VESIT. If they are not from VESIT, then it is not going to be a valid team. All right. So once you have registered, Similar way, your friends are supposed to register or whoever is in your team, and then you can add them to your team. All right. So basically, you get a code over here. You can create a team or you can look for teams. So if you have your friends already, if you decided that you want to participate together, so you can just create a team. All right. So you're supposed to write a team name, team description, and logo is not necessary. So I'll just write team one as my team name, and I will create the team. So I can basically copy this link, share it with any other person who has registered, and they will be able to join my team. All right. So this was the registration process. If you guys have any doubts in this, you can drop your questions in the comment box. We will be addressing them towards the end of the session. Okay. So let us continue with our details about TechSprint. Okay. So, what are the different responsibilities? Your team should be 1 to 4 members. So, you can either have a solo journey on this hackathon, or you can have different members in your team. You're supposed to choose a real world problem to solve. This is very important. So, I'll be explaining what the problem statement is exactly later on. Next, you need to have at least one Google technology. So, without any Google technology, your submission will not be considered valid. Make sure that you have at least one Google technology in your project. If you have more, that is just even better. Submit your work on time. As I said, the deadline to submit is 14th of January, 11:59 p.m. So make sure your project is submitted before that, and your team formation, registration, everything should be done before 31st of December. Follow the guidelines and submission format. I will also be addressing that later. Now, this is the most important point. Whatever projects you are submitting, they should be built within the hackathon timeline. Now, what does this mean? So basically, you cannot submit any project that you have pre built before the hackathon started. Let us say you were working on some project and you think that, okay, this is something that I can submit to this hackathon. That will not be considered, it will be disqualified. We will be thoroughly checking if the project was built during the hackathon, or is it something that you've already built and you're just submitting it over here. So make sure that you do not do that, because you will end up being disqualified. So if you try to build the project during the hackathon, starting from now, okay, and you have plenty of time, you have almost a month to get your project done. All right, moving to the next slide. Now, as I said, you need to use at least one Google technology, and it can be anything. So, something like you can use the Google Gemini API, you can use Google AI Studio, you can use Firebase, Google Cloud Platform, or any other relevant technologies like you can use Flutter, all of these different things. All right. So, what I would recommend is you guys try to use Google Cloud Platform, because I think it's one of the best resources that is available, and you have to sign up over there, and you have to basically create a billing account. So what does that mean is you have to enter your debit card or credit card. I know this will sound a little scary. It was a little scary for me as well, but it is, you're not going to lose any money if you cancel your subscription on the right time. All right. So you have a 3 month window, and you get $300 worth of credits, which is a lot of credits. All right. So you get to explore so many different things on GCP. There is Vertex AI, there is RAG engine, there is something called Cloud Run functions. So all of these things, and cloud technologies and cloud platforms are being is like being pitched, and cloud engineers are also really popular right now. So you can definitely, like, if you want to explore, you have 1 month time. You can go to Google Cloud Platform, register, and explore all the different technologies they have. And you can build, like, there are endless possibilities as to what you can do with the cloud. You can basically do anything. You can build a virtual machine, you can use Google Maps API, you can use Gmail API, anything that you want to integrate in your project, you can do it with Google Cloud Platform. So if you are in your second year, or your even if you are in your first year, there's no need to be afraid. We are all here to help you out and guide you if you run into any problems. And you have YouTube. So like I personally, if we have any doubts during our hackathons, we go to YouTube and we look at solutions. There's immense amount of tutorials available. You can easily access and use them. So I would personally recommend that you try to use Google Cloud Platform, and try to build something using it. And obviously Gemini is one of the best free LLMs that you can use right now. So you're just supposed to go to Google AI Studio and get an API key. It's as easy as that, and then you can start building with it. There is a very good documentation around it, so you can follow that as well. Uh, and along with that, something for if you're in your let's say second, third year, and you're exploring agentic AI. If you're exploring AI agents, so something that I would recommend is using Google ADK. So let me just show you guys. So Google ADK is basically an open source framework by Google to build agents. So if you're in your second year, third year, and you're exploring AI agents, even first year students can do this. I'm not saying that this is only for second year students, but yeah, this is a great tool to start building AI agents. It's open source. I think it's one of the best frameworks to use to build AI agents, and it's very easy, very simple. Uh, it's also open source, so it's free. So you can try using Google ADK, and I'll also show you Google AI Studio. So if you use ChatGPT, this is basically ChatGPT, but your credits don't run out. So you have a lot of tokens. The token limit is very high. And over here, you have all these modules that you can use. Along with that, there is this option to get API key. You can directly get your API key from here and use it to embed it in your application. So if you want to build a chatbot, or if you want to build an AI agent that requires an LLM operation, you can get your API key from here and integrate it, right? You can look at the documentation also. So this basically has the different information about the different models and how you can use them. All right. So I'm not really going into a lot of the technology. I just wanted to show you that these are very easy to use, and you can easily build a great solution using them. And also, this is the perfect time. You have your holidays around, so you can really take your time, explore. You have 1 month of time and build some really great solutions. Okay, and try to use more than one or as many Google technologies as you can. That will just increase your chances of winning. All right. So, what is the problem statement? So, the surprise is that there is no actual problem statement. This is open innovation. Now, what does open innovation mean? Basically, you bring your own problem statement. So, we are not giving out any problem statements. You are supposed to find your own problem statement and then build a solution for it. Now, what kind of problem statement are we looking for? Or what kind of problem statements are more likely to be a good choice? So, basically, as I said, we are looking for something that is solving a community problem. All right. Now, what does this mean? It's basically you look around, you look for what problems are there around you that you can solve. Over here, there are certain examples like traffic management, garbage collection, problems in healthcare, education. Even you can look around in what problems do you face in college as a student. If you can build something for that, I'll give you a very simple example that I saw recently. So, you guys might be aware that during the weekends there is a lot of crowd in the barber shops, right? So the male barber shops, they will have like a 2 hour 3 hour waiting time on the weekends because everybody is going there to get their hair cut. So I saw on Instagram one creator, what he did was he built a simple application It's just front and back and nothing crazy. So basically, the barber gets to choose how many seats he has and which seats are occupied right now. And the user, like for example, if I want to go and get my hair cut, so I'll get to see what different barber shops around me, and whether a seat is available, whether a slot is available. So I can book a slot whatever time the slots are available, and then I can go during that time and get my hair cut. So I do not have to wait 2 hours or 3 hours in line to get my hair cut. I can directly just look at what time the slot is available and go during that time. So first of all, I am saving a lot of time. The end user is saving so many hours. Think about it. Let's say 20 people are getting their haircut, and everybody is wasting at least 2 hours. So 40 hours of time saved just with one barber shop. Okay. And also the person who's cutting the hair, they do not have so much stress that okay, we have so many customers over here, I really need to start doing a better job. So it's a win-win situation for both the barber and the people who want to get their hair cut. So it's such a simple problem. Think of it, it's not nothing crazy, like they haven't built something crazy. It's just a simple solution, but it solves such a big problem and it is creating such a big impact. 40 hours of time saved with just one shop. Let us say there are 5 or 6 in your locality. So think of how big this impact is on a scalable level. So that is what you need to find out. You need to look at simple problems that you can solve. Nothing that is groundbreaking, but you can, if you can do that, that is amazing. So just look around you, look for simple problems like this that you can solve, and your solution should actually create an impact. For example, this solution, it's saving so much time for so many people, and the hassle that they have to go through just to get their haircut, just to get groomed. So it's saving so much time for so many people, and it's going to create such an impact, make their lives more easier, more efficient. So that is very important. Your solution should actually create an impact in whatever problem you're trying to solve. Let us say for garbage collection, I build a chatbot. What is that chatbot going to do? Is it actually going to reduce the garbage? It's just going to educate people. But I think we live in a metropolitan city, and most of the people here know what garbage collection is, how you're supposed to separate your garbage, right? But we still have so many places which have garbage lying around. So we need to build a solution that will actually get that garbage out. A chatbot is not going to create that impact, right? Over here, the problem was that people are wasting so much of their time. The waiting time got reduced, people are saving their time. So an actual impact is being created. So don't just build something that looks good, that works. It should actually be solving a problem, and try to look for innovative problems like this, problems around you, problems that you personally face. And because that way you can actually use the solution and show that okay, this is creating an impact, right? And also it feels good to have solved a problem like this. Right, so that is all about what kind of problem statements you're supposed to look for and how you're supposed to build your solution around them. So, what are the guidelines? And this is very, very important. If you do not follow these guidelines, then unfortunately your submission will not be considered valid. Okay. So, these are all the different things that you're supposed to have along with your project. So, first of all, you need a project deck or presentation. So, we have shared a template with you. So, over here, you have the different slides. Do not edit these slides, do not change the title. Whatever title is present over here, this is exactly what this slide needs to be. So snapshots of the MVP. So whatever is your project which you have built, so you're supposed to attach screenshots from that. Then just like this, you have all these different slides. And there is a naming convention. You put your team name underscore and then your write this title. So this is how you're supposed to name your PPT when you're submitting it. Now this is the first slide. After that, write something in brief about your problem statement and your solution. Then what are the opportunities, like how will it be able to solve the problem, how is it different from the solutions that exist, list of the features that are offered, so what are you offering. Okay. Then Google technology is very important. Explain every Google technology that you have used, how it is being used, all of those things. Then process flow diagram or use case diagram. So this is basically how the user is going to navigate through your application. So let us say the example that I gave regarding the barber shop. So how is the user going to look at it? The user will be able to see the different barber shops around him, and he can select a specific time slot, right? So that is the user end. How is the admin, which is basically the barber, how is he going to look at the application? He can choose the number of seats he has available, and then he can basically change the availability status of those seats. Okay. And give out time slots, like because he will also want to take breaks, so he can set out what time slots he is available, right? Then wireframes or mock diagrams. So this is basically again similar to the architecture diagrams or your UI. So you can add your UI over here, or you can add your architecture diagrams over here. Architecture diagram is basically your technological architecture. So basically, for let us say, I'll take this example only. So you have your front end. Let's say you've built your app on Flutter. So you have your mobile application on Flutter, and you have your backend on Firebase. So how do those connect? And how is the admin and user hierarchy being managed? So both, all of those things, right? Then the architecture diagram. So this is where you have your technical architecture in detail, snapshots of your MVP, followed by additional or future developments. So again, if you are building something, you're going to be building the very basic solution. So what are the future developments that you're going to do, or what can be, how can you expand this project, how can you add more opportunities in it? So that is what you're supposed to add in this slide. And yeah, so link to your GitHub public repository, your demo video link, and your MVP link. GitHub, make sure any link that you're sharing, you have public access to it. Make sure that you turn on the public access, because a lot of times people forget to do that. And unfortunately, again, your submission will not be considered. So back to our presentation. So the first thing, which is the presentation that I just explained, then your MVP link. So if you're building something on the web, if your project is a web application, then you will have a you will have to deploy your application, and then you will have to share the link with us. Now let us say that you're building something on Flutter, if it is a mobile application. So in cases of mobile application, it is not possible to get a shareable link. In that case, you can get an APK. So you basically convert your application to an APK. You're supposed to share that with us. Okay. Then we have, you need to make a 3-minute demo video. Now, this demo video is one of the most important things for a submission, because most probably people will first look at your video. Okay. So try to explain the impact of your solution, try to explain why you have built the solution, and of course show your application, show how it is functioning, explain your architecture, explain your thought process behind it. Now all of these things you have to do it in under 3 minutes, right? So, and also make sure that it is under 3 minutes, because if you exceed the time limit, you might be disqualified. So 3 minutes only, and try to keep it concise, structured, and to the point. Okay. Next, your GitHub repository link. So I'll also show you a GitHub repo so that you guys can understand. Okay. So what should your GitHub repo look like? Okay. So over here, the most important thing for any GitHub repository that is a part of a hackathon submission is the README file. There is something called README that you need to attach with your submission, and make sure that it explains everything about your application, all the folders, all the structures. If I want to clone this application, if I want to run it locally on my system, then it should have the different instructions for doing that. Basically attach everything that you want to add up. This is basically how you document your application. So make sure that you attach a readme file, and also your repository should be public. We will also be checking the dates that you made this repo and the last commit to it. So the last commit will also be checked. It should not exceed the timeline of the hackathon, 14 jan 11:59. So you make sure that you're not adding any commits after that, and your repo should also start from today itself, so 15th of December. If your repo is before that, then again it will get flagged and you will be disqualified. So if you make sure that you don't make those mistakes. Okay, so that was about your GitHub repo. Next, list of Google technologies used. So you will have to attach this, and obviously you have to mandatorily use one Google technology. The more the merrier. List of Google AI tools integrated. So as I told you about Google AI Studio, you can have Gemini API. If you are going on GCP, if you're exploring GCP, there are so many other Google AI tools. On Vertex AI, you can have RAG engine, you can have different tools. So just go and explore those. Solution description. So this is basically briefly write what your solution does, what it is, right? And there will be no deadline extension. So make sure that you are submitting before 14th of January. You can modify your submissions, but make sure that you submit before 11:59 p.m. on 14th of January. Now, what is the evaluation criteria? So, as I said, if you focus on the whys and the hows, you will ultimately build a really good product. So, what is the why? Why are you building the solution? Why is it necessary? Do we actually need this in our community? How is it going to solve the problem? How is it going to create an impact? So, focus on these questions when you are thinking of a problem statement. All right. I'll take the barbershop example again. I'm just going back to it so many times. But why is it necessary? Because people are wasting so many hours of their time, and there is such a pressure on the barbers on the week during the weekends, right? How is it creating an impact? People are saving so much of their time. Just take one barbershop, you're able to save 40 hours of time. How much more efficient will people be with that amount of time saved, right? And how much easier the lives of the barbers are going to be with such a beautiful solution. So focus on your whys, focus on your hows. I'll take the chatbot example again and tell you why it's not a good project. Why is it necessary? Do I really need a chatbot to tell me about waste management? I can just go to ChatGPT and ask it, it will give me the same answers. So, do I need that chatbot? No. Is it creating an impact? Is the garbage magically just disappearing from the roads because of that chatbot? No. So, focus on the whys, focus on the hows, you will build a good solution for sure. You need to actually solve a problem, and you need to do it with the minimum requirements, right? You don't have to do anything fancy. You don't have to start building a neural network. Just focus on simple technologies and try to create an impactful solution. Okay, so I'll just go through it. Innovation and originality, as I said, it should be innovative, solve a local problem, solve a community problem, solve a problem that you face yourself. Technical feasibility. Is it actually possible to implement such a solution in 1 month of time and with the resources that you have as a student? Now, obviously, you don't have access to crazy GPUs and all those things, right? So, whatever technology that you have access to, is it feasible to build a solution that you want to build? Okay. Impact potential, as I said. Is it creating an impact? Does it have the potential to create an impact and solve the problem that you want to solve? And use of Google technology. The more Google technologies that you use, the merrier, the better for you. And if possible, try to build it completely using Google technologies. That is just the best thing you can do. And Google has every possible technology that you want to look for app development, mobile, web development, AI, ML, anything you want to do. It has the resources, it has the technology. Again, I will iterate, do go to GCP, explore it. Even if you don't implement it, you have enough time. You can, because it is difficult. Cloud, learning cloud and implementing cloud actually in your project is difficult. There are a lot of IAM and permission issues that you may run into. It takes time to debug those, because I have done that personally, and it's very tedious. It's, the learning curve is a little tedious, so it will take time, but you have enough time. You have 1 month of time, so you can easily go explore these solutions. And I would recommend that you go and explore GCP, because it's going to look, first of all, on your resume, or if you post on LinkedIn, it's going to look so good that somebody in their first year or second year is going and exploring GCP and learning with it. So try to do that, and try to build your entire solution using only Google technologies if you can. Now, it's not a compulsion, but you have to use at least one. But if you use more, it's just better for you. Okay. So this is the evaluation criteria. Now, what tips would I give? Okay. So I think I have iterated on the little points over and over beforehand, but I'll just give you a few more tips that I personally use. So choose a focused problem. You need to narrow down what your problem is supposed to do. Okay. Now let us say the barbershop example I'll take again. Okay. So if I were to build something like this for every shop, then obviously it's going to create so much hassle for me to define my problem, to define my stores, to go to different people. I'll have to create so many different types of databases, because a grocery store is different, uh, women's parlor is different, a men's parlor is different, right? Something other than that, vegetable stores or things like that. So if I want to build something like this for all stores that are providing a service, it's going to be so much difficult for me to model my problem. But if I choose just the barber shop, I'm narrowing down my possibilities so that I can focus more on solving the problem, right? So another example could be, we wanted to build a chatbot to help people with their mental health problems. Okay. So basically, something that is going to be empathetic, something that is going to give you solutions. So we wanted to build something like that. And we were asking a mentor as to how we can make this a better solution. Okay. So they suggested that you build this for college students, because we ourselves are college students. So we understand the problems that college students face, and also this narrows down what problem we are looking at. So we can specifically focus on college students and identify their problems and solve them. So choose a focus problem. Very important that you narrow down what you're trying to solve and you focus on that. Keep your solution simple and scalable. Okay. So do not go into building crazy architectures and adding different things that are not required. If you add, let's say your database has 30 tables and your solution is still not solving the problem, so what's the point of investing so much time in creating such a complex database if you're not being able to solve the problem? What you need to do is uh, barely solve the problem. So just take a simple, build a simple solution. Okay. Use at least one Google Tech meaningfully. Meaningfully, again. So it should, as I said, you have to explain why and how you've used the technology. So it should be actually be doing something. You don't just have to use it for the sake of using it. And again, the more you use and the better the usage is, the more points you get. Show a functional prototype. So since you have 1 month of time, that is enough time to build a solution and deploy a solution. Again, as I said, if you do not have, if you're building a mobile application, so you cannot give us a link to that. Hence, you can upload the APK. Practice your pitch. So in this case, you're supposed to, the top 10 teams are supposed to pitch, but All the teams that are submitting still need to submit a video submission. So for the video submission, you have to make sure that you're able to convey what you want to solve, how you want to solve in those 3 minutes. Highlight real world impact. I think personally, when I am building any solution, this is what I keep questioning myself on. As a team, this is what we do. We keep questioning at every stage whether this solution is actually solving a problem. Keep questioning yourselves on that, and you will actually end up building something which is going to solve a problem. Okay, so the real world impact, the best question to ask is whether you would use it yourself. Okay, so all the guys over here who get their hair cut on weekends, whether you would use that barbershop app. Yes, definitely you would use it to save your time, right? So, but would you use the chatbot to clear out garbage? No, it's not really going to create an impact. So keep asking yourself that question at every stage, whether you would use this yourself, whether this would create an impact in your life, in the life of the people that you're building this solution for. Will it create an impact in society? Ask these questions at every stage, at your planning, while you're building it, once it's done building, and you will definitely create a solution that is creating an impact for sure. So yeah, this is my personal tips for creating a winning project. Now sorry, moving on to the rewards. One second. Yeah. So we haven't received any confirmation as to what the rewards are going to be. We are being completely transparent with you guys. But the top three teams will be rewarded. And as soon as we are informed as to what the prizes are going to be, we will be sharing it with you guys via email, via Discord, via WhatsApp. So we will be sharing it as soon as we find out what it is, because we ourselves are excited to know what are the prizes. But yeah, so that is about the prices. As soon as we find out, we'll let you guys know. Okay. Uh, and as I informed you guys how you can register, so you can scan this QR code, go to Hack to Skill, start registering, and now we will have some questions. We'll take up some questions in the chats first. So just Sanj, are you here in the meeting?
Yes, I'm there.
Yeah. So can you just ask me the question one by one, and then I'll answer it.
Yeah, sure. Just a moment.
I think I think most of the questions are already answered by Harshvardhan and I. Yeah. Any more questions, participants? You can ask.
If you have any questions, just drop them down in the comment box and I'll address them. If you guys are starting to explore the technologies and face any issues, you can contact us on Discord. So I'll just share the link with you. So on the Discord group, scan this and you'll be able to join our Discord channel. So you can ask any of your questions. There are different channels on this different sections. So you can just ask your question over there. Whether it's related to Google technology, whether you want to know if your solution is actually creating an impact, as I said, or if you want to know what features you can add, how can Google technology be integrated with the basic problems you have. Once you start thinking of a solution, if you are facing any issues with the Hacktoskill platform, any technical issues, so you can contact us. We are available to help you out, help you build. So make sure you join the Discord. And also, this is where we will be sharing any updates with you. We'll also be sharing it via mail, but this is where you will get it firsthand. So we'll be sharing whether there are any changes in the submission guidelines or any changes in the prices, anything like that. Whatever updates we receive, we will be sharing over here. So make sure that you join the Discord channel and you're also active on it, and you keep asking your doubts and keep refining your solutions. Okay.
Thank you so much, Archil, for all the valuable insights. Before we wrap up, there are a few important points for everyone. Firstly, a feedback form is already shared in your registered email ID, and we all request you to fill it because it really helps us to improve all our future sessions. And the second point is you will also receive the session PPT and the recording of this entire session on our Discord channel. If you have any doubts, please feel free to ask them. You can refer them and directly you can ask the questions to us on our Discord channel. Most importantly, registrations for tech sprint are open. This is a Google backed hackathon, a chance to learn, build, collaborate, and stand out. If you are serious about growing as an engineer, this is the opportunity you shouldn't miss. So thank you so much everyone for joining us today. Have a great day ahead, and you may leave now. Thank you so much.